Download the BCSN Plus app today. Local sports all the time. Visit bcsnnation.com for details. Discounts may apply.
Obviously proud of our team. I think a great response coming off of last week's game. Really sound in all three phases. Good team victory. Kind of the response that I was kind of expecting. So proud of our team and get a chance to catch our breath now, get on a bye week here, and get some of our banged up guys healthy, and turn our page to what lies ahead here. So that being said, I'll take your questions.
John, just any update on his condition?
I think he's going to be okay. I don't know the extent of what okay means at this moment until they get some tests and some things done. But obviously, just a very traumatic moment for our team, right? I mean, this is it's a very beloved teammate that takes a fall like that, and you never want to see an ambulance on a football field ever. So no matter who it is, you know what I mean. So we're praying for him. He'll for a speedy recovery and get back on his feet here and back with as soon as we can.
You mentioned obviously all three phases. Defense continues. Obviously impressed line of scrimmage. Just how dominant do you feel like they were tonight, or just offensive?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you really can limit the other team's rushing attack, I mean that sets the table for everything else. I mean, you held a Division I team to 66 yards rushing. I mean, that's impressive by your front seven for sure. And when you can control the line of scrimmage and keep them behind the chains, that's really hard for any quarterback to operate. And we did a really good job on third down defense, I think, due to the success on early downs. That kind of set the table for the whole game.
Offensively, obviously, you guys kind of found a rhythm early. Speak on obviously Junior, obviously just his career, and just continuing to make plays. And I think he said Paul 15th player in the program to reach 2,000 yards. Just how special is that to see?
Yeah, I mean, tremendous player, tremendous talent. Brings great competitive spirit and competitive energy every day to practice. And when your best players practice the hardest, those are he's one of them. You got some other guys there that fall into that category that you got to pull them out and turn them down a little bit because, like I said, they want to continue they love football, they want to work, and they want to continue to get better. And he's been an awesome player for us and been a really tremendous when he gets going early. I mean, I think Tuck did a good job finding him early and getting him involved and getting him going. And obviously the first play of the game. I mean, that's a great start.
Yeah, and obviously 3 games now, you guys have really taken care of business here at home. So what about playing in the glass bowl? Kind of do you guys feed off of this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have a homecomings is what it is. You've got a lot of eyes, a lot of former players back. I mean, there's all kinds of them all over the pregame part of it. They're on the sideline. They're up here in the offices during recruiting stuff. Like, they're everywhere. I mean, they're all over the place. So obviously this place means a lot to a lot of people. Former players obviously included in that. And you want to go out and have a good showing. Your routine's more consistent when you're here and when you're at home. You're not driving all over God's creation to figure out where you're going to be in your next stop and that kind of stuff. And, less moving parts and moving distractions. But great to be home, great to get a home win. And, obviously we got to go on the road and we got to handle the road better than we've handled it the last two times for sure.
What do you think has been the biggest difference between you guys at home and on the road? Just beyond homecoming, you guys have been dominating at home, but has it been the same on the road? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think just answered that. I mean, I think that it's good to be in front of our people. It's got great, pageantry here at our stadium. It's your own locker room. You're comfortable. You're in your rhythm and you're in your groove. And we've fortunately got off to good starts, in all the 3 of those games that you're talking about.
Looking ahead, obviously you got a couple weeks now to rest up. What's going to be the focus, obviously, during this bye week?
Well, we got to get on this tape and figure out what we did right, what we did wrong, and just like every other week. And you try, like I said, to say this every single week. Like, we're trying to see consistent improvement from week to week, and a lot of guys involved tonight. A lot of guys involved in maybe elevated roles due to some injuries and some things like that. So we'll get a good set of evaluation on those guys and see where it's at, and try to progress. But how do you balance coaches going on the road recruiting to practice time to rest time to more of an art to that than maybe a science? You know what I mean? It's kind of a feel thing. So, but we got to get these next 48 hours. We got to get some guys healthy here.
You say that the team expects to win every game, but was there a different mood this week considering how the Western Michigan game ended?
No, I think you hit it. We expect to win every game. Expect to practice very well. Expect to go out and have a good week and really get can you turn good practice habits into game habits? And I think that's really every challenge across the country at every locker room, and can you consistently do it?
I know you mentioned that the run game usually is where you want to start, and then it opens up everything else. But that was kind of in reverse today. The pass game got going early. Was that a part of the game plan, or is that just how things are?
Yeah, I mean, I think getting your quarterback in rhythm is always a critical element to the game. That thing moves and operates better when he's in rhythm. You got to do what the defense allows you to do. You know what I mean? You can't. I'd love to run it. I'd love to be consistent in that. But if there's an extra defender near the line of scrimmage, then they have to cover our guys, and we got to do a good job of finding them and getting them the ball.
Bryson obviously almost took out the free kick, but to have a weapon like that, I mean, how does that kind of change? Not change, but how does that affect field position? Knowing that you have a guy that can stretch the field that way.
Well, I mean, it didn't kick it to the deep return, which was obviously a game plan thing by them, and and then. As you mentioned, he damn near returned it for a touchdown. So, big swing right off the jump, great field position to set us up. Down in I don't know where he got to. I think he got almost to the red area, right? I mean, it was like 30-yard line or something like that, 27-yard line, something like that. So, big lift right off the jump, and to be able to turn a momentum play like that into points. I mean, that's when we're playing at our best.
Just one more on John. Did you see anything on the field that gave you a positive indication?
Yeah, I mean, he was talking and he was responsive, but me speculating and getting into anything more deeper than that. I mean, I'm not a doctor and I certainly don't even want to pretend to be one. So, again, all I can tell you is from our standpoint of it, he's a very loved teammate here and a guy that and we, like the first series out of there. I don't think we handled that part of it very well. I think we're still in shock a little bit, but after that, I'm proud of our team to kind of getting back in the groove there a little bit. I'll see where things are here, yeah. But if he's there, I'll be over there for sure.
Real quick, Caleb and Jake obviously getting some runs in there. How cool was it to see those guys?
Yeah, I mean, not often you get to, you're limited for a travel party and when you go to the hotel with and that kind of stuff. So you don't get to take your fourth quarterback very often. And Jake was Scout Team Player of the Week this week. Got a chance to get in there, and I called a play that could be potentially that, and I was kind of hoping he would pull the ball and run it because I knew it would get a spark out of our team, and ultimately, he just deserves that. There's so many guys that are kind of behind the scenes and just consistently show up. They're the same guy every day. And sometimes those guys don't have a light at the end of the tunnel. There's not a carrot dangling there to go play great on Saturday. They're not going to get in the game. They know that from the minute they show up in the building on Sunday. And to have that opportunity to get him a moment like that, and other guys too. But, when you're the quarterback, only one guy plays. And, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 guys just sitting there and, when's it going to be my turn? And so for him to get in there and have a moment, that was a really cool thing. And certainly, he did great. Yeah, I think that's an ongoing thing. We're in the middle of college football season where availability of players changes, at the drop of a hat. What you're relying on from really good players to be healthy and to be consistent. Some days, some weeks you have them, some weeks you don't. You got to build the scheme around your players, in all 3 phases, what they're capable of doing. And, so I think I know what we're capable of, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's always just going to come down to what you're willing to do each and every week when it comes to the grit and determination to go win a conference championship. That's what it takes in this league. I mean, you got to bring it every week.